Okay, so we move on to the next session, which is about marketing and fintech. Our own Maria Aridu will take on the role of moderating this session. If you have some questions for the earlier panelists, you can ask them during the breaks. Here you go.
Thank you, Zoltan. And with this, I would like to welcome my wonderful panelists on stage. And we have Dana, we have Agnes, we have Tina, and we have Asteya. And thank you so very much, ladies, for joining us here today. Thank you all for staying as well. So our subject, of course, is fintech. We are going to discuss the boom of fintech on every level and scaling up fintech on so many aspects nowadays. Since it has been merging with Web3 and all contemporary technologies, we have new emerging payment systems, we have new blockchains being covered, new market strategies and expansions, and all this, especially of course with the marketing strategy for this, will be deeply explored by our experts who span the whole aspect of fintech. We have PR specialists, we have chief revenue officers, we have country representatives from Lithuania, and I will pass the microphone to each one of the ladies to introduce themselves to you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Not a lot of us here, but nice to see you here. I'm Austėja Šastagaitė. I'm from the Blue MI. So a few years back, I was also working at the Bank of Lithuania, so central bank here, at the innovation unit, and today I work as a chief business development officer at the Fintech, and we also solve this problem of how to scale every day, so I hope we can have a nice discussion.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be part of this discussion. My name is Tina, and I'm representing Payout. Payout is money automation platform designed especially for gaming industry, offering real-time and near real-time withdrawal and deposit process. As a licensed fintech, Payout supports payments in 7 different currencies, and we are focusing on high-risk clients. That means that our solution is fully available in compliance with annual regulations. And in my role, I'm responsible for the key area of our company growth. That means sales, marketing, business relationship, and business development. And I hope that my hands-on experience will be really, really helpful in this discussion.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Agnia. I represent Invest Lithuania, so I'm not from a company, part of the government of Lithuania. It's governmental agents and the Ministry of Economy and Innovation, and we help foreign companies to expand into Europe through Lithuania and help them grow here. So fintech is an important sector for Lithuania, for our government. We still see a big foreign direct investment potential in this sector. I'm leading the fintech stream at Invest Lithuania, and we also publish a fintech landscape and Lithuania report, which is an important source to learn about the state of fintech in the country. So I'm happy to share a few insights from the report during this discussion as well.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dana. I'm from Debitum Investments. That's not a governmental institution. It's a private P2P investment fund platform. I have nearly, even a bit more, 7 years of experience in fintech, in marketing and PR, in branding and in events. So hopefully that's going to be useful to this discussion.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you for passing the mic. Let's start with the million-dollar question, or million-euro actually in this case. So what does scaling mean in fintech today? Is it just about technology? Is it about growth, partnerships, and positioning? Is it about the right local market? Or the comp strategy, all the above, or something else entirely? What's the key thing? Again, let's share, and please take turns. This is a question to everyone.
So from my opinion, I would say first it's innovation and then it's compliance. And I'm not saying compliance because I back in the day were ahead of a central banker, but because it brings credibility to both you as a company and to your customers, and of course for the partnerships. Because when you speak the language of, let's say, legislation, regulation, when you see that you understand it, it really brings trust. And of course, innovation, because you have to, I don't know, see into the future and bring products that are somehow makes you different from the market, what is out there. Maybe you can solve some problem that is very new. This way you can, gain new markets, new clients, and I think this is some key points that you can start with when you try to scale.
You can try.
Guys, I'm sorry, but this is uncomfortable. Okay, 1, 2.
You can hear. Okay. From my perspective, this is really great questions, and scaling in fintech, it's about the combination of these elements that you mentioned. For example, technology, regulatory readiness, or the right communication strategy. Because all of fintech focus sometimes just only on the technology. It's a really important part of this, but I'm thinking that's the most important, or it's something about more. It's about the right communication strategy. That means that you start talking with the language that your customer or clients really understand. It's clear and it's absolutely focused on them. The next is about your product. Your product must be different. Your product must be innovative and must be add value to your clients. And the last one, and the most important part for me, like the business development person, is focus on market. That means that you have a lot of information about the needs, about the pain points, and you focus on them and start communicate with your potential clients.
Thank you.
And from a government and local market prospect, Agne, like in this case from West Lithuania.
So actually what we see when serving the companies in Lithuania, so these are like local fintechs, but also foreign capital fintechs operating in Lithuania. So actually our survey reveals that it's very difficult to scale. It's actually one of the challenges that the companies are currently facing because we usually ask what are the challenges and what are the opportunities. So scaling and especially international expansion, this is something, I wouldn't say like a headache, but something that is not easy for the companies. And now maybe I will just ask the other way around, why it is not easy, not what are the key factors, but why it is not easy. Because I think fintech is most of the companies in fintech are payment companies. It's not only in Lithuania, it's also globally. So in Lithuania, we have more than 100 payment service providers, all licensed, And in my view, many of them are just very, very similar. They're providing similar type of services, targeting similar customers. So it's, the market is very competitive. It's very saturated, and it is actually difficult, to grow, to scale, being just another payment company. So what we see from the experience of our clients, because we also deal with, not only with startups, but with scale-ups, bigger companies, even some fintech unicorns that actually expanded into Lithuania. So what is really crucial, all the factors that you mentioned are important. It's never one factor, it's a combination, but what's from the experience of the fintech unicorns that we are dealing with, it's actually the unique product offering, I would say. They really have to be unique, they have to look for different angles, especially when it comes to payments. So I don't want to reveal the names of the companies. I think I'm not in the position, but just to give you a few examples of the products that they have. And I think this is the reason why they managed to scale, because one of the company, for example, it's a company not only payments, not only opening accounts or having these e-wallets or like providing payment services, but also combining other different types of services into one platform, including expense management, accounts payable, corporate cards. So it's just, look for different, exactly. Another one, fintech unicorn that we are working with. Why they manage to scale so fast? Because it's actually not a payment company. They are a communication company offering like cloud-based communication platforms for the customers, and that includes services like messaging, email, voice messages as well. And on top of that, there's payment services. So it's just thinking outside the box, looking for different angles, and in this way. Having or bringing to the potential customers unique product offerings.
Thank you. But if you're one of the 100 the same companies in fintech, then where actually branding and PR steps in. You have to be the boldest, you have to create your own marketing strategy, not just by pitching some ideas to ChatGPT and then getting the marketing strategy, but actually doing something by yourself and then thinking of how you could do it in different countries, maybe on how to separate the age groups and so on. In terms of investment platforms, we have limitations in terms of passporting, meaning that we are regulated, but we have to get a special kind of like green light to advertise in various countries, even within the EU, but each country should be licensed separately. So yeah, branding and PR is also a good point.
Because it is again a differentiating factor, like mentioned. So I think this was entirely covered. And since we spoke, Agnes gave us a very good perspective of what differentiates companies on a local market, especially here in Lithuania. And from your experience at Invest Lithuania, what trends are you seeing when it comes to fintech companies expanding across Europe and in other markets, and especially what makes a country like Lithuania unique for scaling fintech?
Yes, it's a difference. What type of fintechs we are talking about? Is it like because when a tech company is expanding, there's one thing, but if we talk about a company that is seeking a license or needs a license or is working in a regulated sectors, it's difficult. It's difficult, I would say, and what all companies are looking for, especially companies from the US or other parts of the world, when they are entering Europe, they are looking for a fintech-friendly environment, actually. And what is fintech-friendly environment? It's a jurisdiction where it is easy to get a license, where the licensing process is fast, cheap, and on top of that, where the environment is actually safe and the jurisdiction has a very good reputation. And I believe, in my personal view, it's an oxymoron. It doesn't exist because it's either or in most cases. Most countries that have the best reputation, the licensing process there is the longest, the most challenging one. So
it's rather strict.
So in Lithuania, I know there are many licensed fintechs. We are the biggest. We still are actually the biggest fintech hub in Europe by the number of licensed fintechs. But it's not easy to get a license for any newcomers, actually. And just to illustrate, last year only 3 new licenses were issued, 9 licenses were revoked. So it's challenging. But on the other hand, I think when we're dealing with newcomers, or new companies expanding into Europe and thinking about expanding into Europe through Lithuania, we as a country, Lithuania, we are usually competing with the Netherlands, Luxembourg, Ireland now today. So these are, I would say, the top jurisdictions. So I think it shows that there are many fintechs in Lithuania. It's not easy any longer to get a license, but we, I would say, have a good reputation.
And it's a good.
So this, yeah, when company receive a license, it's good to do this.
So it also works in increasing trust and to the audience as well. So that's great. And speaking of market expansion, if I may pass the ball to Anastasia here, who you have been on both sides of the table. You have worked in central banks and in EMIs now. When expanding your product and entering in new markets, how do you balance this side of compliance, the strict side of compliance that we see now, with innovation, and how do you manage to keep your product competitive, especially now under new regulations like MiCA, that has been lots of talk about it, and there have been strict measures as well applied through it.
Yeah, well, actually, when BUMI hired me, they said, "Oh, you are from the Bank of Lithuania. It's easy for you. You understand everything. You basically wrote the regulation. We will be, happy to have you. Everything will go smooth." And I was like, "Okay." I mean, maybe I did wrote some regulations, but when you think about how to regulate a market or bring innovation into the market, you think from the other side, like trying to fit the text to the products, or bring already understandable concepts in finance to innovation, which sometimes it's not very successful. I can admit that. And then when you go, as I said, to another side of the table, and you have to deliver the product and at the same time comply with the regulation, which your colleagues wrote, and then it's quite a different story. Sometimes it's even very hard to fit the boots to the feet, because the feet are too big or they're whatever. But so it's a challenge. It's a challenge to balance those two concepts. But the good thing is that we are still at the same table, regulators and EMIs, and the communication is very key. And I remember when I worked at the bank, we really appreciated when companies come, even before or during licensing, and ask, can we bring this business model? Can we do this or that? Sometimes, it's very valuable, even for us, to bring the product there, get ideas, give good feedback. And for the central bankers, it's also good because sometimes they can adjust the way they work, adjust the way they communicate with the companies, and it's very, very good concept that you are at the same table, actually.
So it's a collaborative process. It's not really, it doesn't fall on the company's shoulders to do all the work.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you cannot, we are not born understanding how to comply with the regulation. You have to talk, you have to, get advice and improve yourself. It's a very complex issue, but I think one step at a time we can get better, and
So you see progress happening. That's something.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there is, as Agne mentioned, there is a slight downturn of licenses getting issued, but I think this is a common narrative from the Bank of Lithuania. They're getting, more quality into the market, and let's hope this is where they get eventually. But I think this is a necessary step to improve how companies and fintechs perceive regulator, and how regulator works together with the industry.
Thank you very much. And now that we talked about this sort of collaboration for innovation, essentially it is a matter of collaboration, let's move to the business side of collaborations and the partnerships. And I wanted to ask Tina, since you're covering this whole part of revenue and partnerships, what is the role of business partnerships in your go-to-market strategy, let's say especially from your experience at Payout?
Yeah, I will check the answer to my colleague, and it will be from the fintech perspective and the regulator, because, for example, for us it's really important partnership with the National Bank of Slovak Republic. We are licensed in there, and I have to mention that, for example, we have absolutely amazing people there. They discuss new solution, new fintech. We have a sandbox. We have a lot of panel discussion with them. We have a lot of round tables, so this is the one of the partnership and a little bit app. And for example, go-to-market strategy and payout. Now I'm going to answer on your questions. It's about one principle, and it's a strategic partnership. That means that thanks to this, we process transactions worth over 1 billion euro to date after 3 years when we started processing. And our go-to-market strategy is about the partners, about the integration with the platforms. Thanks to this, we are able to bypass traditional acquisition bottleneck and onboard clients a little bit more efficiently. We are in discuss with the clients which are really understand about the embedded payments, about the payments, about our solution. So this is a really important part of our strategy. And another else is that we start to communicate with a lot of another subject, because at this moment we start a new product. It's embedded finance market, and we are going to integrate another payment services into our digital banking. So that means that our clients will be able to get a loan during the few seconds thanks to our platform. And now we are integrating other partners, means banks, AML providers, loan, and something like this. And I'm sorry.
Yeah, if I may add on the embedded finance, what it actually helps us as an early company, early fintech, is not just finding clients like one by one, but actually going for the platforms, for the aggregators and let's say, I don't know, accounting platforms as one example, because then it brings you not like one client but a bunch of clients that they are also working with. And then actually you can build, you have a solution, but then you tailor it for the platform, and you're already scaling it. So I think this is what we saw when we are still working on that. So finding platforms, finding aggregators that could already offer you your solution to a number of clients.
So this actually touches on the second question, which is a follow-up to all of you, what you have to say. It's about the kind of partnerships in the local networks that you have seen that actively work for fintech and deliver tangible growth. On all geographical levels, be it for the EU or the Baltics specifically. So what have you seen from your roles? What kind of partnership in the local networks drive growth?
I can start. So for us, I think the most important one are banks, because it's a huge pain point for fintechs, opening a bank account, for safeguarding and so on. So
is it a pain point from the client side, from bureaucratic side?
It's a pain point to find a fintech-friendly banks, but I wanted to congratulate that in the Baltics we do have some fintech-friendly banks that are good to work with fintechs, and they actually collaborate with us. I'm happy about it actually. But I think that is a huge topic as well for other fintechs, finding partners that are helping you to bring new use cases and new services. And maybe my colleagues want to add something.
Just one sentence about the banks. For example, when you want to open a bank account, like a payment institution, sometimes it takes 2 years. It's an absolutely long process with the discussion, with the AML process and questionnaires and another else. So banks are a really important part of our solution, and we need to find the right banks with the fintech. Another else partners for us are platforms. That means gaming, investment platforms, e-commerce platforms. And the last one, and the last but not least, for us is find aggregator and integrator.
For
my previous payment companies which I worked in, we partnered with a lot of associations like travel association, commercial association, whatever. It's just easier to directly find clients from there. So, and then if you are attending multiple events, for example, for travel, it was really interesting that in iGaming everyone is so open-minded and you can just go and chat. But for travel, especially in the UK, it was. I mean, we got sponsorship for 4 times, and then only on the 3rd time they started to come to our stand. Like literally, we were standing, we were exhibiting, and no one came.
So
They were just.
was it this kind of stigma, sort of the modern, unregulated, wild fintech? What was it about? Like the view iGaming, for example?
I'm not sure. They just had to get used to us because they on the 3rd time they came to us. Okay, we saw you. Like you're here for the 3rd time. Like what are you? And then yeah.
And what have you seen from your side working?
So I'm not from the sector, I cannot really comment what works for the companies, what not, but we actually advise we advise the new companies that are new in the market in Lithuania just to get and engage with local fintech associations, with chambers of commerce, and even the government, including us, Invest Lithuania, and I would say most importantly, similar companies or like-minded companies or competitors. So at Invest Lithuania, we are when we are consulting new companies and they are interested in Lithuania, we are also organizing site visits. And then the companies come and they meet various stakeholders, have really plenty of meetings on the ground. But I think the most important ones are with the so-called peer companies, or companies providing similar services, working on the very similar product, because they are the most valuable ones. Because during those meetings, during those conversations, we see that companies are very openly sharing their experience. What does it mean to go through the licensing process in Lithuania? What does it mean? Is it difficult to hire in Lithuania? What are the challenges? Is it difficult to enter the market? What are the right ways? So I'm not sure if it's really something that is unique about Lithuania and our ecosystem, that the companies are very openly sharing and giving these tips and tricks, or is it related with the sector? But my advice is to go and meet the companies and ask their experience and turn your competitors into your partners.
That's extremely important and innovative for any field, I think. Very, very important to be open. And this openness takes us to another kind of openness and communication. So we've seen the part of building the relationships. Now let's go to the marketing and building the trust. Dana, from your experience in the PR sector of fintech, content and communication is not just fluff, but what are the specific steps? What is a specific strategy, if there is one, that could cut through the noise, build trust, and make a fintech company differentiate itself, even if there is similarity in the products, even if everyone communicates the product and knows their competition and share the information? What's the secret sauce, if there is one?
I would say branding, the bold one, just because if you are one more great company among a lot of great companies, you will not be noticed. Then also thought leadership, because it showed, at least from my experience, I've put some C-level guys to speak on some conferences, and then it built actually trust towards these people, but also towards the company. Of course, there is a risk for the company that these people are going to leave the company, and you still invest the time and money for promoting your employees, like C-level employees, but
The brand ambassadors.
yes, exactly. But by doing the thought leadership, you're building the trust not only in a direct way, but also in some unordinary way. Continuing with the peer partnership, actually, that's really a good idea, just because when you partnership with other companies who have 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, and your company has 20,000 followers on LinkedIn, you exchange the followers basically. If there are some of them who are not from one group or another, you you get a chance to get new clients.
Okay, and as a follow-up to all, this kind of openness and communication is great and the PR, but when it comes to more complicated concepts, like explaining to potential customers in your audience concepts like embedded payments or stable coins, you could miss the link there. And how do you explain this, and how do you educate your audience in a way that speaks to everyone, from the business field to regulators?
You create
Overall, what is...
Yeah, but I can have the microphone. You create an educational content targeting like any communication channel that you could reach, basically. So, for example, from Insta stories you may reach Gen Zs, from LinkedIn you may reach other peer professionals, from Facebook you may reach 45 plus.
Yes.
So I think, just to add to the question, it's very important to have clear message, and since we are building stablecoins ourselves, we went through this. Yes, you have to communicate clearly what you are doing, but this is only like a first point of contact, let's say, with the client, with the user. They see it, they understand, okay, maybe they're doing something, but then we hope, that is why you have to have a clear message, but then you have to bring them in and actually have a personal talk, personal discussion, especially if it's your partner, if it's your client, then you talk it out and bring all of the things that are valuable for them. This is why you need to have stablecoins, or this is why you need those payment services instead of those. And then it's easier for both sides to come to the point of mutual understanding of what we can build together, what value we can bring to each other. So I think, going public is one thing, and is a point of interest, and is creating a buzz, and it's bringing you the people, but then you have to go in there in person and talk it out.
Okay, thank you. And Tina, do you have something to add to this?
In our company, for example, we are using a case study when we explain our solution, our advantage, how it works. And we are actively collaborating with PR agency, because a few years ago we started with our language. We understand what we want to sell, but when we start to communicate with the client, it was okay, I don't want your solution because I didn't need it. So we start closely with the peer communication, we start with the marketing agency, and now it's absolutely working when we explain it.
And that's great. And Agne, from your point of view, on another side of communication, how do you communicate the benefits of Lithuania as a hub for fintech growth, and how do you explain the benefits of the jurisdiction? How do you promote that?
So I think there are lots of interesting good facts about Lithuanian fintech that have to be shared. I think Lithuania is already on the global fintech map, at least European fintech map. Fintech professionals knows us, knows the benefits of doing business in Lithuania, coming to Lithuania, expanding into Lithuania, and we have a very broad network of partners again. So these are, the embassies, could be site selectors, consultants, other companies that already have presence in Lithuania. So we really want to make sure that when they are attending events somewhere outside of Lithuania, they spread the word about our value proposition. So it's about the network.
Amazing, again, partnership and collaboration. And to start closing off, let's go from the outside, and the partnerships and the operators and the regulators and all that, to the inside people in the companies. You spoke of utilizing leadership, Dana, and let's see not just the leaders, all the people in a company. Because on one hand, fintech is based on technology growth, but the in-person events are booming, as we said, and employer branding is key. But what is the role of human connection on this level in a fintech's marketing strategy? And how do you actually promote this? How you make people care, make your people into brand ambassadors? Is it possible, or is there no connection there?
My approach is to create the PR materials or whatever, like content pieces, which I'm not ashamed to share as a person. For example, I'm not going to create an ugly design and then put it on LinkedIn and then make everyone in the company share it. Also, this goes regarding the merchandise. I'm not going to be your, like, I don't know, company name here, like, throughout the whole body. It should be something interesting, which I'm not ashamed to wear. But speaking of human relations, it's actually all about relationships, like the normal understanding of relationships. You may be in one company today, and then you may be in another company tomorrow, and your client will follow you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know if anyone has to add anything. If you have really come to this role of making your people, your company people, your ambassadors, or if it's something that you have actually felt from your companies, if you feel so passionately about in order to become brand ambassadors.
I can add maybe from our company, it's really hard to ask our employee, okay, be the ambassador of our brand. At this moment, it's just only 3% from our company which are really promoted from our side, so we are working on it at this moment.
So it's not a very fintech thing yet. Okay.
No, I thought that maybe fintech is actually the sector where everyone goes to the conferences, everyone goes to those after parties, everyone celebrates the product, the partnerships. But actually, it starts with the team. Which team do you have around you? If they believe in the product, I guess the founding team is also always the ones that are believing in the product the most, and they are the real ambassadors, and they would go anywhere just to talk about it, just to bring people in. The more you grow, and this is of course the topic we're talking about, the more you scale, it's harder for you to make everyone believe in the idea and the story that you're bringing. So I guess it's a bit more difficult, than you have to maybe have like a PR team, the ones that are the sales that bring the message, but you cannot trust that everyone, when you have like 200 or 300 people in the company, will be the believers, will be the ones that fights for the idea. That's normal, that's okay, but since you still have the heart of the team that believes in the product, I think that's key.
And from this side of scaling, of hiring more people, expanding your team, what is it that fintech companies can do right to attract more capable talent, and what is it that perhaps you have observed that they are doing wrong? And this could be a very good practical advice to share.
I can say that top talent, fintech talent, tech talent is everywhere, very difficult to get and to find. In Lithuania, the most sought after specialists are senior developers and also senior AML and compliance specialists. So you might think that it's related with the size of our labor market, but in a way it is, but not only, because when we are talking with the companies, they face similar issues everywhere, in Ireland, Netherlands, even Poland, which is a huge market, and many companies have like back offices over there. So what we advise the companies is to not to really say that, oh, I have just posted an ad on LinkedIn, job ad, and that's okay, that's enough. Actually, to combine internal resources, recruitment resources with external agencies that really know the specifics of the local markets. In addition to this, companies have to be visible not only to their potential customers, but also for their potential employees. I just had like a conversation like a few weeks ago with one founder of the company. and they were complaining that it's so difficult to find the talent in Lithuania. And I just asked, so what are you doing? How you are searching for the talent? And his answer was that I posted some ads on LinkedIn, and that's not enough actually. That's not enough. I asked if they are going to local events, fintech events, meetups, also going to universities if they are recruiting, also junior people.
Build the talent from scratch.
Exactly, offering internship opportunities, giving lectures. They are not. So then it's really difficult because unless you are really, very competitive with the salaries, but so the key message is to be visible for the potential employees in the labor market. Then it's one way to success.
Okay, thank you, Agnes, for this advice. And from your experience, anything to add to the rest of you? I don't know, Dan, I think you were hiring for a position or first.
Yeah, I was. Another point is that there in 2026 there will be an obligatory thing for European companies when you're posting an HR ad to post the salary, and just write it as like a competitive salary, which freaks me out all the time because what is competitive to you might not be competitive to me and vice versa. And also just take care of your employer branding right from the beginning, because I know a company, for example, whose sales team is switching like crazy, and then the guys are going back and forth literally for each like 3-4 months, which is not okay. And then I know that their head of sales, he's saying, oh, that's just the aspect of sales, blah blah blah, but no, it's not it. It's just in terms of inner communication and the microclimate of the company. And then fintech, I always remember that the fintech field is quite small. We all kind of know each other, and then, or at least we have some people in between us who know each other. So just take care of your reputation.
Okay, yes, thank you for this. And to start closing, if you had to give one piece of advice, each one of you, according to your experience and what you have witnessed in your sectors, for a fintech company to scale into a new market in 2025, 2026, what would this advice be?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be bold. Don't be afraid to do mistakes. Just because, okay, you're gonna try, what it will cost you. So a bit of time and maybe a bit of financial resources, but you'll never know until you try.
True.
That was my advice. Actually, be very bold, be specific, and find the right partners.
Okay, great.
From my perspective, it will be built, the technology will be secure and scalable. After then focus on the personalization, for example, AI driven, because it's part of our solution, for example, too. And the last one, it's localizations, so provided the right payment method or solution at the right time and the right place.
Thank you.
A lot of great ideas, so maybe something from my side would be find like-minded people. So either if it's a new country you are scaling to, or a new product you're developing, so find people who maybe are there, who understand what you want to do. Either it's the regulators who can help you with the compliance, either it's tech providers, partners, which can speed it up for you to deliver the product. So I think is find the like-minded people to surround you.
Thank you. And I don't know which ones of you work in fintech or have any questions regarding what we heard here today. If you want to ask our speakers to wrap this up. No? Well, thank you very much. Thank you for teaching us all this, ladies, because it turns out that fintech is mostly a collaborative field, and I thought it was all about the tech. So thank you all very much for your attention. I could